رصيته عبر راسين في مين طلع لي أسد قال لي تعال تركيا اعمل زلزال قمت رحت تركيا عملت زلزال وكل شي خرب حتى الدور فيش أرض فيش سقف وأموال على الأرض بتشوف أموال وبكل أحوال رصيته عبر راسين في مين طلع لي أسد قال لي تعال تركيا اعمل زلزال
Freedom is the most overused word in the human lexicon, right next to love and diet friendly. Yet like most things that sound great on paper, it gets infinitely more confusing the moment you start asking questions. Why do we call the bird free when it's trapped in its own biology? Why does the word freedom make for such inspiring tattoos but also a lot of existential dread? And why does HalfLife, a video game about aliens, science experiments, and a mute guy with a crowbar, resonate so deeply with these questions?
Good morning, and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel. The time is 8.
When Valve released Half-Life in 1998, I was barely a sentient blob. We didn't own a computer until I was 5, and when we did, Dad installed Half-Life. For years, I wandered around Black Mesa.
Good to see you. Gordon, you lousy motherfucker. Get your dork ass down to the test chamber, or else I will shove the sample...
Ruining the cake in the microwave.
And stop fucking with the microwave!
Talking to scientists, and gawking at the G-Man lurking ominously behind a glass window. The intro sequence, an ambient of machines, monorails, and apocalyptic undertones. It planted the seeds of existential wonder in my tiny little brain. And then I did the thing. You know, the uranium thing. If you've played the game, you know what I mean. 9-year-old me watched in horrors as the lab went. Everyone died and the game said, "Congratulations, kid. Welcome to adulthood. Everything is chaos, and it's probably your fault." But the new rebel is a skeptic, and will not entirely trust anything. He has no loyalty, therefore he can never be really a revolutionist. And the fact that he doubts everything really gets in his way when he wants to denounce anything. For all denunciation implies a moral doctrine of some kind, and the modern revolutionist doubts not only the institution he denounces, but the doctrine by which he denounces it. I didn't know it at the time, but Half-Life was teaching me a J.K. Chestertonian lesson about freedom. It's messy, contradictory, and often involves catastrophic amounts of uranium. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights proclaims that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. A lovely sentiment, but let's be real, what does it even mean? Are we talking about the freedom to choose our destiny, or just the freedom to pick between Coke and Pepsi? Socrates and Plato tried to define freedom. They defined it as a moral and political construct, where the just man is free through virtue, not indulgence. Aristotle added his 2 cents, defining freedom as a participation in civic life. Fast forward to the Enlightenment, and Rousseau declares, "Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains," a line that would later inspire thousands of Instagram captions. Meanwhile, Nietzsche questions whether freedom is even real, suggesting it might just be an elaborate human coping mechanism. And then there's Foucault, who flips the whole thing on its head by arguing that freedom itself can be a tool of control. In other words, even your rebellion might just be part of someone else's master plan. Freedom isn't just a philosophical riddle, it's also a psychological minefield. Jacques Lacan's theory of the symbolic order posits that freedom is mediated by language and social constructs, leaving us perpetually incomplete. Erich Fromm's escape from freedom suggests that too much freedom can be paralyzing, driving people towards authoritarianism just to escape the anxiety of the choice, which is fucking scary. And then there's neuroscience. Throws a wrench into the whole concept of free will. Studies show that decisions are often made milliseconds before we're consciously aware of them. So while you're busy deliberating whether to order pizza or sushi, your brain has already made the call and didn't bother even consulting you. You can read the description below. I have studies about that, but I don't want to make this video like 30 minutes long. Art has always been humanity's playground for freedom. From the romantic poets waxing lyrical about nature's untamed beauty, to the surrealists rejecting logic entirely, art reflects our eternal yearning for transcending boundaries. But here's the kicker, even art has its limits. I mean, let's talk about the minimalist movements. It strips away excess to find essence, only to confront the emptiness that remains. It's a bit like cleaning your room in the name of Marie Kondoing your life, only to sit in the corner afterwards wondering why everything feels so sterile.
You are here to stay or passing through on your way to parts unknown?
This must be a mistake. I got a standard relocation coupon just like everybody else.
Enter Half-Life, a game that turns freedom into a narrative Rubik's Cube. Gordon Freeman, the silent protagonist, seems like the ultimate rebel. He's fighting aliens, dodging soldiers, and wielding a crowbar like it's an Excalibur. But look closer, and the cracks begin to show. The G-Man, a shadow figure of authority, manipulates events behind the scenes, embodying authoritarianism disguised as opportunity. The rebels, supposedly fighting for freedom, often feel like pawns in a game they don't fully understand. And you, the player, you're just as trapped. Every corridor, every choice leads to the same inevitable confrontation. Freedom in Half-Life is a paradox. The game invites you to explore, but subtly guides your every move. It's a mirror for real-life systems, where the illusion of choice often masks the machinery of control. Half-Life doesn't provide answers, it forces you to confront the uncomfortable question: is freedom ever truly free? Jean-Paul Sartre famously declared that man is condemned to be free. Freedom, in his view, isn't liberation but a curse, the unbearable weight of endless choices. Neuroscience backs him up. Experiments show that our choices might not even be ours to begin with. This raises a chilling question. If free will is an illusion, what does that say about individuality? From the gut-brain axis influencing our emotions, to genetic predispositions shaping our behavior, freedom starts to look less like a birthright and more like a carefully negotiated truce with biology. Even religion adds another layer to the paradox. Most faiths propose free will within a framework of divine predestination. You're free to choose, but God already knows how it will end. It's like being handed the controller for a video game where the final cutscene is already scripted. Noam Chomsky's theory of generative grammar suggests that language is an innate form of freedom, yet Ludwig Wittgenstein counters with "the limits of my language mean the limits of my world," implying that even our freedom to express is bounded by the words we have. In ancient Rome, freedom was a privilege of the elite. Modernity democratized it, but also commodified it. Today, freedom is a buzzword sold back to us in the forms of smartphones, streaming subscriptions, and Instagram ads. To be free is to live within contradictions. We yearn for freedom but fears its responsibilities. We crave choice but are haunted by the possibility that our choices are not really ours. Albert Camus, in his meditation of Sisyphus, urges us to imagine the mythical figure Happy, finding freedom in the embrace of his absurd fate. But even in this defiance, freedom remains an enigma, a concept forever just out of fucking reach. To be free, it seems, is to wrestle with the unknown and call it home.
وبكل الأحوال رسيته عبر رسينا في مين طلع لي أسد قال لي تعال تركيا اعمل زلزال قمت رحت تركيا عملت زلزال وكل شي خرب حتى الدور فيش أرض فيش سقف